Hello, everyone. Welcome to RK Football Talk for another week of um, exploring the news from the weekend, from the small stuff, the small results to the big results in the Premier League as well. Also, the big stories going on as well. As you can see, David and Carl aren't with us this week, so it is just me and our good friend here, Stuart.
Hey guys, hey everyone. How you doing, Matt?
Good, good. I'm good actually. Been bit of a long week, but do you know what? Like, I'm glad that we're able to do this again. That is for sure.
Oh,
So,
definitely.
yeah,
It's gonna be fun.
excellent. So, I thought we'd focus on the latest result from all of the weekend in the Man City game and the 6-0 thumping of Ipswich. Like, I thought that was a quite a good result for them. Like after everything they've gone through, especially.
Yeah, I mean, I think I think everyone's kind of getting overreacted a little bit because obviously I've seen stuff about people going on like, oh, what's it? Was it as we call this? They were in the top four, so everyone's like, "Our City back. Oh, they're only this points off. Oh, does that mean they can go on a run?" I'm like, I think people got to start understanding that Man City are not in a title race, a top four race maybe, but I don't think they have this with City. It's always this thing where they think because they're capable of doing 12, 13 games in a row, win, that they're still in the hunt. But it's a good win for them because obviously they're scoring goals again and they're not conceding. That's also good. Because obviously the thing the midweek against Brentford where they basically conceded let a 2-goal lead slip. It's not looking good. But yeah, I mean, I think it's time will tell with City. I mean, if they take this result and then go on a kind of like 4 or 5 game win and then kind of make their top four their own, and then we can have a different discussion. But yeah, but it's good for them. Guessing back off a pretty good week for them, to be fair.
I think that I will be honest because I watched the game and I thought Phil Foden, he seems to be back to his brilliant best where how he won Player of the Year last season.
Mm.
That form seems to be coming back again, which is brilliant to see, especially for Thomas Tuchel, with the England games coming up as well.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Thomas Tuchel's first England game. To be fair, it'd be interesting to see what he sets up and stuff. Because yeah, I mean, obviously there was a bit of negativity around his appointment that I never understood personally. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what he does with that. But yeah, I like Foden. I think with Foden's situation is like when the system works, like he's a very good, very talented player. But I think he's another one of these players that's like when the system doesn't quite work, is he that kind of player that kind of can, take it from the scruff of the neck and kind of take the game? Because we had these conversations with England during the ULs with the whole, should we start him, should we start drop him, that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, it's good to see him back on the score sheet, to be fair. And yeah, it's good.
I think that I do agree with what you're saying. Yeah, because there was that debate of whether they should start him or not. I was always in the camp of start him. But I think that in a way, how would I say it? Phil Foden is a better version of whatever Raheem Sterling was for Man City, in my eyes. I think he's a bit like he does grab the game by the scruff of the neck at times, but his reliance is still there upon the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, Doku, Haaland, these players around him to still play well enough to give him the chances to win them the game.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe I was harsh critical in a sense. He's still a very, 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 very talented footballer. It's just with City, it's always that kind of feeling with like, because obviously with England, it was always like when it's the same thing when the system wasn't working in the first couple of group games, he wasn't really effective enough, if they say. But with City, when their system works really well, he kind of thrives in it. But yeah, I mean, obviously, literally with him and City, it's literally if they can keep maybe no more big injuries and maybe obviously they've spent big in the January transfer window so far, and obviously stuff with Haaland staying for 9 years. It's
Yeah, I
looking,
mean
yeah.
that's I think an insane contract. I'm a Chelsea fan myself, and I think that tying down a player for that long is a bit strong. I think that your relationship with that club would have to be really good to sign a contract like that. So it's a good sign, but I think that it's it's an opportunity for City to make the most out of him if things were to backfire with these charges.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just us because obviously when we were watching football, it's just basically like 5-year deal is put as far as you go with a contract. Obviously Chelsea, we all know why they did those 7-year contracts, to try and lymph out the kind of payments and stuff.
No,
But
I don't know what you're talking about. I like no, I don't know what you're talking about.
oh, I
No,
see. You're
we're good.
defensive now.
We're good boys.
But but I get like financially it makes sense because obviously the guy's getting tons and tons of money. But it's just the idea you don't really stay at most places for 9 years,
Yeah.
and that's your whole career. But I think I saw some good points on it, saying stuff like, where else could he go, really? Because obviously City scoring goals, he's doing well. He's probably on course for probably going to beat Alan Shearer's probably overall goal score record at some point. But yeah, I mean, obviously, where would he go? Like, was it Real Madrid's? Not really at the moment. Obviously, no,
Yeah.
like Barcelona haven't got the money.
Bayern Munich, he probably wouldn't go to.
Well, no, especially with the Dortmund stuff. I mean, yes, that's so I can kind of see it from that sense.
You say that, but Götze done it. Lewandowski done it. They crossed the divide. I mean, Götze was probably the most like brutal one out of the two. Like at the time, that was quite like because he was a very young player at the time. I remember as well. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, it's always Bayern Munich, isn't it? It's always they always take what they can't beat you, but they're just either they just take your players. It's kind of what's an old school thinking, but yeah, just take your players. But yeah, that makes it. I think it's more of a for us like I just like 9 years, man. And it's with City. You're thinking, okay, is this like a couple of a shot at maybe the Premier League? Because obviously, if they're putting up these big moves, do they know something we don't? But yeah, I think for Haaland's great. Good was it? He's scoring goals for fun. Obviously, at the moment, not so much, but he's still up there. But he's a great player. So, but yeah, I was a bit shocked when I saw 9 years. I thought it's a bit much. Got to be honest.
Yeah, it is. I think one team we definitely need to speak about is Liverpool. I mean, like I'm sure that the majority of this episode would be all about Liverpool if it was up to our Stuart here.
100%.
I mean, there's definitely nothing that tells us he's a Liverpool fan other than that big sign behind him.
Yeah, I know.
But in all honesty, that result has got to be a big like relief for yourself.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I was after a couple of draws. Obviously, we had that. I think I kind of put my thoughts on like that draw against Nottingham Forest was a good result. A lot of people kind of disappointed with it, but I kind of was very happy with it, probably for the fact that against a really resolute kind of Nottingham Forest side, it was like to get a point there with the way they defend one of the best defenses there and get a point was a great result. And obviously, I think I heard someone say a good thing saying is that'd be a good point if we get that win against Brentford, and we have got that win, so that makes that Nottingham Forest draw even more important.
Yeah, I think that's a fair argument actually, because whenever you do get a draw, it's either look here for is that 2 points dropped or a point gained come the end of the season, and after how Nottingham Forest done in that game, I mean, it would be fair to say that it's definitely a point gained.
I mean, yeah, 100%.
After it's happened.
I mean, you can't do much when you've got a Nottingham Forest game and you've got a keeper as good as they've got that you just can't get past. He's making spectacular saves in that game.
He does so well in that game. And I thought, do you know what? I'm going to put him in between the sticks because he's not going to concede against Southampton, is he? Oh, no, he's not going to concede against Southampton.
Yeah,
and he conceded two.
I know defensively they're probably like hard to get like one goal against them, and then against Southampton they get concede two. It's like, what are you doing?
But I think the biggest shout out has obviously got to be to Darwin Núñez. It has to be. He was like he saved Liverpool, got them the 3 points, and in a way, it's early in the season to say this, but with the results happening over the weekend, is it fair to suggest it's now Liverpool's title?
I don't think I'll ever publicly say that on anything recorded because
I was hoping to get it in.
It's as a Liverpool fan, we've been burnt many times when it comes to winning titles. So Two, literally, there's no mathematically chance that anyone can catch us. I'm always going to be cautiously optimistic when it comes to our chances. But after the couple of draws, we need to kind of get the momentum back. That one against Brentford, and Nunes doing what Nunes does. Yes, he has a problem with he has so many shots, and most of the times he does, miss a lot of them. But in a game like this, it proves when you need him to step up and you need him to turn up, he does. He done it against Newcastle last season, if you remember that game. He done it against.
Yes, he did.
I,
Absolutely rifled it into the net, didn't he?
they were outstanding goals, by the way. Both of them, they're just so good. But
of course they are. He's a Liverpool player.
No, but they were. If you look, so good. But yeah, I mean, and obviously, I think he got the winner against Nottingham Forest, I think, last season as well. So I think with Nunes, it's more of a situation when the price tag we got him for, and kind of when it was Man City bought Haaland, and then we got Nunes, so everyone was thinking it was like a comparison thing. And yes, obviously he's not scoring as many goals like that, but the guys was it Captain Chaos or something like that, because the guy is absolutely unpredictable and you don't know what to expect of him, and he puts 100% on 110% on the pitch, and you can always rely that he's going to put his heart, he's going to try his best, right? But yeah, the 2 goals were really good. Like, we need them. Yeah, it's just great to see a guy that's been getting a lot of criticism lately from the fan base, and then see him just turn up there and just get 2. So happy for the guy.
Do you think that social media played up the rivalry between Darwin Nunes and Haaland? Because I think if we went back 20 years ago and say a striker of the caliber of Haaland was brought in, so probably equivalent back then would have been I don't know, like a Van Nistelrooy or something like that.
Yeah.
And then you had someone else who was bought for the same amount of money. I don't think the hype would have been as high as that about which one's going to be the better striker out of the 2.
Yeah, I think it was more because obviously I think it's because obviously Nunes came off a good already prolific season with was it Benfica, and he done really well with them, and obviously when he played against us in the Champions League he looked really good there. But yeah, I think it was just more because obviously the rivalry of Man City and Liverpool were they were the 2, so it's like and then the price tag as well. I mean, it was quite high for we put that kind of money on a player, Liverpool. We don't spend big, but when we do, it's on play. I think if he was bought for 25-30 million, you'd be like, okay. But it's because of the big price tag. I think that, as some people, strikers we've seen, the price tag can be against you and puts more criticism on you, and it's probably deserved. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I remember seeing it. It's just everyone, because obviously in that Community Shield game when he first started, he scored on his debut. Everyone's like, here we go. Even I was like, here we go. And then it hasn't really worked out. But it's fine when you've got a rotational kind of front 4 that we have, where everyone's kind of chipping in with goals. So it's kind of, it's all right. So
everyone being Mo Salah, being just world class and 100%, just being amazing.
I mean, all you have to say about Mo Salah is just Mo Salah being Mo Salah, because the guy's, I do not understand how the disrespect the guy gets. He's been consistently popping in 15, 20 goals a season, and he's top scorer. He's so good. I don't see why he's not considered on the top 5 list of one of the all-time greatest Premier League players.
Okay, I'm gonna put you on the spot here then. Is Mo Salah better than Thierry Henry?
Oh,
I'm putting you on the spot. I'm throwing you into the mix here. Come on.
I don't know, man. Well, the problem with this, damn it, because I love, when I was growing up, as much as a Liverpool fan, I loved Thierry Henry as a player. I think it's probably not a fair comparison in the sense of Thierry was just a different kind of. I think it's more about what kind of styles. I think it's with Mo Salah, it's he does do take on players and stuff, but he's more of he's kind of like goes inside, but obviously with Thierry Henry, he's very. You could probably he was basically an old school kind of striker. Give it a ball, he just dribbles past people, type thing. And obviously I do have recency bias because obviously Mo Salah's still playing and he's still scoring goals. I mean, I guess I'll probably get flat for this. I'll probably say, but by numbers, he probably is better by Thierry Henry.
I'm going to stick my neck out, and I will say that by the end of Mo Salah's career, if he stays longer than this season, he will be, without shadow of a doubt, the best attacking player to ever play in the Premier League.
Okay. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to disagree with that assessment, but
but the reason why I say that is because by the end of this season, providing Liverpool hold on to top spot, he would have won 2 Premier League titles. He'd have won the Champions League. Yep. He's won the FA Cup once. Am I right thinking that? He's won it once?
Yes, once, yeah.
Yeah, and he's won the League Cup twice, I believe, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's won the League Cup twice. He has, and then to add, probably, if they can turn it around in the League Cup again this season, it could be another one in that competition as well. And how they're going in the Champions League as well. At points, Liverpool have thought that all the trophies come towards the end of the season more than once.
Yeah, I mean, the quadruple talk always crops up. Like, it's been coming up like for a couple of years now. That I always hate because it's like quadruple's a quadruple. It's like we tried that one season when we almost did it. Literally crippled our squad, and then the season after we were terrible. But I get it. If you look at it from numbers, you obviously got the Jerry. I think had 2. Obviously, if Mo Salah gets another one, I think if he wins, if we do like the Premier League and the Champions League, possibly. If you look at it from trophies, but with the argument of Thierry Henry, it's just and Mo Salah, it's always going to be about style and preference, what you like as a player.
I agree. I loved watching Thierry Henry, but I'm not going to lie. As much as I don't like Liverpool at times, when Salah is on that pitch, it's like you're going to get a good game here. It feels like you're going to get a good game. And throughout his time at Liverpool, I can't think of a season where he has not been key in how Liverpool have got to their achievements that season. He has been key every single time.
The consistency is outrageous. Like ever since that burst onto the scene and scored, was it 40 goals in the first season?
Yeah.
It hasn't really replicated that, but then he didn't really have to. The consistency to be scoring as that many goals is. I do think he doesn't get as much respect as he should because. Yeah. I mean, if you see the Ballon d'Or list, he's not even barely in the top 10, I think, or or that. That's outrageous, I think. But
that's insane. It's insane. But moving on to a club that are massively going in the wrong direction in Man United, as they lost 3-1 to Brighton, and are now sitting 7 points off of Fulham in 10th place in the table. At this stage of the season, I think if someone said to me at the beginning of the season, Man United will be in the bottom half, closer to relegation than they will be the top 4, as much as Ten Hag wasn't doing well, I would never have agreed.
Well, Man United is an interesting case because obviously last season obviously that was their worst they've had in the Premier League era, and obviously it would have been interesting because obviously the FA Cup win kind of overshadowed the kind of really bad season they had. But yeah, I mean, I think the problem is obviously they've got with what's going on at Man United, they've got a new system, obviously a new manager of Amorim, and obviously a new system. Yes, they obviously in the midweek they beat Southampton. That, to be fair, they should probably beat, and obviously made it 3-1 in the end, but obviously left it late. To get to win that game, but I think it's more of just now it's been a pretty badly run club for a very long time now.
Yeah,
and you could bring one of the greatest managers. You could put Pep Guardiola there, and I don't think he was to struggle because the systems aren't there, the structures aren't there, and until they fix all the stuff at the top, I think Man United's always going to be they're not going to be as successful as they were. But
No.
I'm shocked that the lower they are. But when they lost against Brighton, I think I wasn't. It's like you get to a point now when you see Man United lose, you go, it's not as shocking
Yeah.
as it used to be.
No. Not like when David Moyes was in charge and they lost to like Swansea, and it was like, how have they lost that game? Now it's the norm, and that
But
it feels strange for a club that when we was younger dominated English football for years.
I guess it must have been. I guess it must have been the same for people in the '90s and when Liverpool were doing terrible, because obviously we dominated the league. Was it Division One in the '70s and '80s? So
Yeah,
I guess it swings around about how it works. But
really. Yeah.
I think I like Abraham. I like the manager. Obviously, we were rumoured with him a long time ago, before we got a slot.
I bet you're
And
glad you got Slot.
100%. But yeah, I do like his style. But when you've got he's trying to play three at the back, and obviously you need good wing backs for that kind of system to work. They don't have it yet. So against was it a Brighton side that just getting back in the form at the right time. So I wasn't shocked by that result. I think if they get into the top half, I'll be Man United. I think for them this season is probably the best they've going to get. I don't think any European competition would be where they're going to go, sadly.
Yeah. I don't see him finishing in the top half. I don't. I'm going to put it out there now. I do not see Man United finishing in the top half. I like to make my big calls and get it wrong, but with this one, I just can't see it, because every team in that top half are playing well. It's not like there's one that's like you could drop out, and they are all playing very well. I know obviously things can change drastically. Like Newcastle at one point had didn't have a great start to the season, and now they're fourth. So it's I don't see it happening for me. I just don't.
I mean, to be fair, I'm liking the top four race at the moment as it is, because you've got a lot of good teams in there. Like obviously you brought up Newcastle. Obviously was it Bournemouth looking quite good. I think I saw highlights of the game again they had when they played. Was it Newcastle?
But devastating.
I mean, the idea that just remember the manager at the start when the manager they have now is like started out, it was the usual not playing well, not winning, and they're on the verge of being sacked. But now it's crazy what he's done at that club with Bournemouth.
Yeah.
So they're up there. Obviously, you still got Carl will probably say Villa was doing the kind of around the area. After obviously that really good result against Arsenal on the weekend, 2-0 down, and obviously brought it back 2-2. So obviously City still gonna be around there. You've obviously got, I mean, I would say Tottenham, but I don't think that's going to be a thing. But yeah, it's fascinating top four, the European place this year, because there's so many good teams doing really well.
Do you think, in regards to Man United, how many of those players do you reckon that Amorim would, if he was so he's got that entire squad going into the 25-26 season, and he looks at that squad, what players would you pick out that side and go, I'll definitely keep you, you're staying?
I don't know. I mean, obviously, with Man United, the talk is was it the big two ones at Garnacho, is it? And
Garnacho.
And was it Rashford? I like the big ones he's trying to get rid of. Trying to get rid of, like, because obviously Rashford's an interesting one, because obviously he had that burst out of the scene when he first started, but it's kind of hasn't really hit his forms for a long time now. And he looks like a very, very unmotivated and kind of very it's like,
it's sad. It's sad because I will be honest, I'm not a fan of United, but I remember, I think, was it Midtjylland? I believe he's made his debut for Man United, and he scored. I think he scored 2 goals or just a goal.
It was a goal against Villa, I think.
Yeah, and then he scored against Arsenal the following weekend, and he just it was like, oh my god, where's this player come from? He's insane. Like, he looks really good. And for a couple of seasons, it did look like it was going that way. And he did have seasons where he was one of the better strikers in the Premier League. But it is, unfortunately, looking like he's not going to reach that potential. Well, not potential, but he's not going to reach that level we thought he would at Man United.
Yeah, it's again, I think it's a situation of just many factors. But again, Man United, it's just like if you want to like when it comes to football players, you need a good environment around you. And I think for Liverpool, for me for Liverpool, it's like I think the reason we've also done really well at the moment and been successful is because we've got a really a good structure when it comes to like the kind of at the top, and obviously we've got a up to date training facility. Our stadiums is being revamped. It's like these little things help you become a good means you can totally focus on the football and have world class facilities so you can be a really good player. And I think with Man United don't have that, so I'm not surprised that you see like players that I bet you if they we've seen it with other players that have left Man United, gone to other clubs, they've kind of become basically like seem to be better players and more efficient and better base, like puts like example compared to Scott McTominay, Napoli, he's apparently doing really well.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
and
that was a shame he left because I did like him as a footballer. I thought he was pretty decent, to be fair. So I think one player I would I'd definitely keep is De Ligt. I'd keep De Ligt. I think he's a good player. Ahmed, definitely. Is it Ahmed?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, he's again. I think he's another. I mean, he's probably been the standout player since Amorim come in. And I would probably for maybe Fernandes. I think Fernandes is probably your other one. You
kind of have to.
definitely.
He's an interesting player for Bruno Fernandes. He's definitely one of the best, if the best player they've got. But yeah, it's just, it depends on what day he turns up. To be fair, because we have seen things where he gets sent off a lot. I've seen was it when the Man United play really bad? It's like it's all on. I think I've seen vague comments with Roy Keane being not happy with his kind of levels, but. Yeah, I mean, I'll keep it. I mean, the problem with Man United is basically the same for Arsenal as well. Is they need someone that can score goals.
Yeah.
Like, because they have like who they got up front. I think at the moment.
Is it Højlund, isn't it?
I mean,
Rasmus Højlund, and
he's got potential.
And is it Xerxes? For me, I'd sell Xerxes. I don't think he fits into the United way of playing. I don't think he's going to fit in with Amorim. Looking at the striker he had at Sporting Lisbon, I don't quite see it. Højlund, I think, could fit that mould out of the two. I think Højlund's got a better chance.
Yeah, I do like him though. I mean, he seems like he's young. Was it? I've seen some matches where I've seen some highlights of him and stuff, and obviously some matches when I watch one or two Man United matches. He's got potential. If he gets the right service, he's got a good finish on him. He's quick. He's really good. But again, it's a situation of can he get a system working that can get the best out of him as well. But
and
I mean,
fitness.
yeah, because obviously he's been out for most of. He was out for quite a while for the start of the season. Man United.
Well, remember he went through that purple patch, didn't he, last season with Man United, where he scored. I think he scored like 3-4 games in a row or something. It wasn't that long, but then he suddenly got an injury, and it just disrupted everything. And it was like you could slowly see that player come through, and then it's taken a step back. I think the injuries, if they could get that under control, that could be another player I would definitely consider keeping.
Yeah, I mean, I think Man United it's going to be hard to. It's the usual argument. It's like it's going to take a couple of windows to try and shift out a lot of the, names that are not performing. But again, it's a situation. I think what they've got to do is for first time to stick with the course, sit there and say, okay, we're going to stick to this system and not backtrack. Just stick with it, and it's going to be tough, but we've got to stick with the system because I think it could work. But they've backtracked recent over the years of when it isn't working, they kind of go back to a system that works for like. That's what happened. That's what kind of happened last manager. To be fair, because it's like he never got to play his way. He had to kind of adapt that, and in the end, it kind of obviously cost him his job. So I think stick with it. Yes, make the big calls, but wouldn't surprise me because this is how football works. As a Liverpool fan, I know from waiting so long for success when it comes to being up there. It's get 4 or 5. Wouldn't surprise me in 2-3 years they'd be challenging and playing some good stuff. So Wouldn't
exactly.
surprise me.
No, I agree. Okay, so another, I think another team that would be actually good to mention. You mentioned them earlier. Is actually Bournemouth as well. They obviously dispatched a Newcastle side that have won 9 in a row, and I mean, what was it? Oh, I was about to say Patrick Kluivert. No, Justin
No, his
Kluivert.
son.
Yeah, Justin Kluivert has risen to score a hat trick against them and just flatten them.
Yeah, I
He,
mean,
like
yeah.
Isaac, I don't think Isaac really threatened.
No, I mean, I remember I watched the highlights match today about that game. It's just like, yeah, it was a weird game, that one, because obviously you had what was it, the kind of like the headline stuff where a team that was or was it Newcastle winning one versus Bournemouth's unbeaten one, what was going to give, and
Yeah.
obviously kind of Bournemouth blew him away. But yeah, I mean, I watched that. Yeah, Isak, yeah, he was a bit off. He was a bit off it, to be fair. I mean, I think the whole team was a bit off the pace. I think Eddie Howe said it in the interview. He said they're very. I think the 2 games in the week, kind of, they haven't got the squad for it. So like they were obviously really good in the last game against, I think, Wolves, I think it was, but
Yes. Yeah.
but obviously in this game but not, obviously a bit off the pace. But yeah, Bournemouth, for me again, that's another example, as we are saying, like, of stick with a manager's style and just back him and let him do,
Yeah.
like, stick with it, and eventually it'll come good, because obviously that's what they did, and obviously it's working really well for them. I mean, I'm kind of happy with Bournemouth because obviously it's kind of a really small club, like, in a sense of, like,
Oh
so
God, it's like tiny club, isn't it? Like in comparison to even this team, even say, wouldn't you? Right. But
uh,
yeah. Oh, did it cut out there?
yeah, he cut out. I didn't actually hear what he
Sorry.
said.
So no, the what I was saying is that, like you say, that Bournemouth are a team that they do seem small, and they are a small club, and in comparison to a team even like Newcastle, you'd even say like that's a big club compared to them.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I think it's just it's kind of why we kind of love football, isn't it? So you see like clubs like that, it's just like, get, play, get a system that works for them, kind of get the players that work for that system, and you just kind of, it just works, and it just
Yeah.
then it kind of gets, good performances. It's just nice to see, because obviously I don't think they've spent big. I think they've got, it's more of a, like, it's like them club Bournemouth are like them clubs, like, like Brighton's no example of, like, a club that's just really well run. Good.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Doesn't go crazy with transfer stuff. They kind of always seem to find these players that are just like, oh my God, how did they find this one? And it's just like, it just feels, you don't have to spend big money to get a successful football club, and it's kind of nice to see with teams like Bournemouth, obviously Brighton, to top of my head, but I can think of, obviously I would say Nottingham Forest, but they kind of did get fined for overspending, so I don't know if it's the same. So, but
Yeah, no, I get you. I think Newcastle for me, well, I mean, obviously Nottingham Forest doing what they're doing in the top four is incredible.
amazing.
But I think that for me, if you were to say two sides in that top six who you could see actually stay there, I would actually go for Newcastle.
Yep.
And a part of me just thinks, should I say Nottingham Forest? I'm like, a part of me's going no, because surely they're going to drop off soon and then they're just going to plummet. And I would probably then go with Aston Villa. But I can't see when the wheels are going to come off.
No, I mean, defensively, like, well, the way they've got was it good unit they've got, and obviously that system they've got, obviously with that, was it two, I can't remember what names of the two centre backs they've got, but and obviously they got,
Milinkovic, Milinkovic,
yeah,
Milinkovic, isn't it?
yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, good God, that man is a beast. You're not getting past him,
yeah,
that guy. Love, like, he's proper old school defender though. We like, and sometimes I miss watching. Because he's basically like, yeah, you look at him going, yeah, he's a defender. You're not getting past him. But
no,
I think the only thing that would stop them is if the goals drop. But I don't think.
yeah,
But I think at the moment, Chris Woods is obviously, he's got his only good reign of form. So, but I don't think it's going to be like they're going to like elite goals, but maybe if the goals dry out, maybe. But I kind of
Yeah.
don't want them to drop off because it's just a good
Oh, I
story, isn't it?
don't. Oh, I don't. I'd love to be able to see next season Nottingham Forest travelling to Bayern Munich, to Real Madrid.
The City
Like,
ground. It's like back in the 80s. I love it.
yeah, exactly. But what you say about Chris Wood there, his stats for this season, he has got 14 goals this season. Like, the guy's just become such a good Premier League striker. And he was always decent, but he was never you would say a reliable 10, 15 goal a season striker.
No,
But the last 2 seasons he's really started to pull up those numbers for him.
yeah. I mean, obviously, again, I know we'll probably this season does feel like a kind of back, or back in time, really, because obviously a lot of was it stuff like the title Westfield that feels like an old school thing. There's a lot of old school kind of vibes, and obviously stuff with obviously Chris Wood. He feels like an old school kind of early 2000s Premier League striker.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice to see, to be honest. But again, it proves the point that basically sometimes if you've just got a good squad, a good team that kind of works for your strengths, you can always get the best out of someone. And obviously, with their kind of counter-attacking kind of style of Nottingham Forest, it kind of it works. He doesn't have to. He just has to. He seems like a player that's good. Just knows where his positioning is, and he knows how to get. Like he knows where to be when when they do get that chance. So I think it's just I'm a nostalgic at heart, but I think I always like Chris a lot because it just feels like the early 2000 strikers that we all used to watch, and it's just like it's really good. I do like Chris Wood a lot.
Yeah. No, I think he is good, and I do have to agree that I think if the goals dry up, that is going to be their biggest problem. Yeah. No, I do agree because it like Hudson-Odoi, he is a good player. He is a good player,
Yeah.
and he's now back. He seems to be showing that form that got Bayern Munich interested in him. And was it Alanga, another player who's doing really well as well? And so those two and Chris Wood up the top. It does seem at the minute if Chris Wood's not having a game where he's going to score a goal, I do think, Hudson-Odoi or Alanga, yes, the pressure goes on them, but at the minute it feels like they're going to do enough to get him over the line if needed.
Yeah, I mean, I think I forgot about the Nottingham Forest Liverpool game, where it's the situation that when they got that goal early on, we all know what the game plan was because they've done the exact same thing to us at Anfield when it's like they get the goal and they just hold out because they know they've got a system that works. But obviously, when we got
Park
the equaliser,
the bus, as they used to call it.
Yes. All the old.
Sorry, go on, I think you cut out.
Yeah. So sorry, mate. It's just, but it's I think another thing about Nottingham Forest, it proves the point that you don't have to play that kind of Pep Guardiola kind of style to be successful.
No, I agree.
You can have different styles, and I think that's what this like. You can have the passing from the back kind of style. You can do the counter attack style. You can do the hoof out of the pitch and that kind of stuff. Like it's just, I think recently we've been stuck on the idea of you've got to kind of play from the out of the back and play kind of Pep's kind of football, where it's kind of nice to see there are different ways to be successful in football, and they're not in Forest. There's no example of counter attacking, that kind of hold out counter attacking. It works when done right.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. Say that again. That last bit. Just that last bit.
Basically, but when it just proves that counter attacking, if done right, it's just nice to see that it can work. Like when done right, that you can just get success out of it.
Exactly. I think. Well, I think the last team to finish up on would probably be Spurs. They're 3-0 thumping by is it 3? Is it 3-0?
That's 3-2. 3-2 against
3-2,
yeah.
My apologies. Oh god. But
God.
So no, but again, like another poor showing, especially in the first half by Spurs. And is Ange the right manager to take him forward, or is it the club? Is it an issue in the club as a whole?
I think it's more the club, to be fair, because he's not the first manager with Tottenham to kind of again, we were talking about United earlier about structure and how the club run. It's like Tottenham's another example of that as well with Levy. You could probably ask that most Tottenham fans are not a fan of his ownership of the club, to be honest. I think also with Ange is he's when it comes to the manager, is a situation of he has a certain style that he likes to play, and obviously he's getting, you can hear when he does interviews he gets a bit agitated when they start questioning that, but it's like it's obviously not working because obviously it's keeping them open at the back. Obviously, I did watch that Liverpool Tottenham game a couple of weeks ago when it was 6-3. I mean, I have never seen so much space in my life when we had the ball or when we were on the counter. We just like, it was ridiculous how much space we had. I mean, it could have been more. 6-3, I think that was flattering. Could have been, but I mean, they were exciting side to watch. But the problem is, it's all good scoring tons of goals, but they always look vulnerable on the break. And
you have to play the boring side of football sometimes. You have to grind
100%.
out the result. And I don't see how. I don't look at Van der Ven and Romero at the moment. When they come back and they've got a fully fit side, I can't see how those two would. And they went 1-0 up. Solanke scored, for example. I can't see how the defence fully fit is going to hold out for an entire game if they needed to. They're not that sort of side, and they don't probably not going to be under Ange. But at some point, you've got to do it. You have to change the way you play. You've got to in order to win a game sometimes.
Oh yeah, 100%. I get it. We all want to. Let's be honest. If we're all managers, we all want to be like the progressive kind of attacking side that scores all the goals. But yeah, I mean, you need to be defensively solid when you got the ball. That's great, but when you lose the ball, that's when you got to like. But that's the problem with Tom. When they lose the ball, it seems like they always look very vulnerable and so much space. It's ridiculous how much space they give away, to be honest. But I mean, with the Everton game, I guess it's just probably more the same, to be honest. I mean, and also new man. I think now that David Moyes was able to get a week with them to get the kind of, because I think their game was it in midweek. They looked a bit all over the place. Didn't know really what he wanted to do at Everton, but I think he's probably got a week to kind of put down what he started playing. Obviously, he must have it obviously worked for them because obviously he got his first win. But yeah, I mean, I think Tottenham's one of those teams at the moment you kind of want to play. Yeah, and that's kind of worrying for them.
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, I think that's it for the like Premier League stuff. But one story obviously we want to finish on is obviously the passing of Denis Law, a former Man United striker and an absolute legend of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, his record just speaks for itself. I mean, 404 games, 237 goals for Manchester United. He won the Ballon d'Or and was part of an amazing line that included Bobby Charlton and George Best.
I mean, that's insane. Like, I think when I was looking up this stuff, I was like, the idea that he won the Ballon d'Or, like, that's mental. Like, just like the idea of just like anyone winning the Ballon d'Or in a British person winning it was a Ballon d'Or, but it's unheard of. But yeah, it's Denis Law for me has always been like, he's a name. I mean, I've seen the kind of tributes he's got. It's like, it shows that he's very beloved in the game, and obviously I think he's probably at where time we can play both sides of the Manchester divide, and still be loved. That's.
I mean, Carlos Tevez definitely weren't.
Well, no.
No. But it's like I was I probably said before, I play like when kids and the younger people from this generation won't have ever watched Denis Law. Like we didn't watch Denis Law. We've seen highlights, but we've never actually watched him play. But how good he was is shown by him being in that list of players to have won the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, I mean,
for me, that alone. So yeah, just incredible.
Yeah, he's going to be missed.
Yeah, but on that note, I think it's a bit of a sad note to end it with, but I've got a question for our fans out there, and that is, who is for you the best striker from the pre-Premier League era? So before the Premier League came around in '92, I want your best striker before that era, okay? And next week we'll read them out on the podcast, and I just want to hear. Let's hear some unique names. I want like history, mind-blowing ones, but some that maybe people never even heard of, like some from Stuart's era, for example. Like, you know,
You're funny. You're funny.
But yeah, like I'll start it off. Like, is one. Do you have one for me, Stuart?
Probably. To be fair, obviously I think you cut out, so I didn't actually hear what you actually what your pick was. To be fair, but
okay, Ian Rush.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think forget like he's still our leading goal scorer, like all-time leading goal scorer. So yeah, 100%. I think when I was thinking about it, was it Kenny Dalglish? I probably would say it's like
yeah.
I mean, he's probably still one of the all-time greatest players to ever play in English football. You could probably sit there and say. I mean, yeah, I'll probably that'd be my pick. You know, Kenny Dalglish probably.
Right. All right. Cool. So, everyone, get your picks in, and the best ones we'll read out next week. The more unique, the better. All right. But so, yeah, just end it. We'll end it on that then. So, goodbye, everyone, and Stuart. Nice to see you again, and we'll see you all next week.
Yeah.
All right then.
See you,
all right,
everyone. See you.
Bye. No, take care. See you later.